In this box contains the world's most precious asset. But before I talk about that, I want to ask you some very powerful questions. And I want to think about this not at a surface level, go at a deeper level. I'm sure you are able to understand who this boy is. Anyone? Can you name? Exactly, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. But my question to you is this: how was it possible for a poor APJ, born in a poor Muslim Tamil family in a poor village, could eventually develop ballistic missile technology, rocket launch vehicle technology for India, could eventually become the missile man of India, the president of India, the people's president, and receive many awards, including the Bharat Ratna? How was it possible for Stephen Hawking, who was diagnosed with a disease called amyotrophic lateral sclerosis at the age of just 21? It's a kind of neuromuscular disease, and after being affected by this disease, he could not move any part of his body, including his lips. That means he could not feed or talk himself. So my question to you again is, how was it possible for Stephen Hawking, being diagnosed with ALS at the age of just 21, could pursue his dream in theoretical physics and cosmology and get graduated from the top Oxford University in physics and eventually get masters and PhD in cosmology from the Cambridge, could eventually write many books, including The Grand Design, Universe in a Nutshell, A Brief History of Time, could eventually receive many awards, including the Russian Fundamental Prize for Physics, USA's highest civilian honor, Lucasian Professor of Mathematics, which is the world's highest academic chair. So I want you to imagine right now Stephen Hawking sitting on a wheelchair, not being able to move any part of his body, including his lip, researching and studying not about anything on Earth, but on space, black holes, particle physics. So how was it possible again for a ruler in Dubai could transform a barren Arabian desert into one of the world's most spectacular cities in the world, Dubai? The story continues. How was it possible for Neeraj Chopra, who was born in a poor agriculture family in Panipat, Haryana, could compete with the best of the best in javelin and clinched gold medal in Olympics for India, in Tokyo Olympics, and recently he won silver medal for India in the Paris Olympics. Again, finally, how was it possible for Dhirubhai Ambani? How was it possible Dhirubhai Ambani, who was working as a petrol station attendant, could eventually start his own refinery, one of the world's largest refineries, Reliance, and the story continues. So my question to you is this: how did they turn and create pivotal moments in their life? Is it because that they crave money, they crave power, they crave fame, or any other external rewards? But what the research shows, it's quite the opposite. It has nothing to do with any external rewards, because achieving anything big and bold, it's a long-term game and it's so difficult. So you need energy, a lot of energy. So what the research shows, it's not any other external rewards or extrinsic drivers that drives performance to achieve greater things in life. In fact, what the research shows of high achievement, high performance, it's about the intrinsic drivers. It's all about the psychological fuel, the emotional fuel. I mean, at some point in their life, we are talking about U-turn, they identify their inner fire. And what do you mean by inner fire? And what creates inner fire? It all begins with curiosity. This is where your spark starts. Curiosity. What do you mean by curiosity? It's your interest about certain things. You see the childlike curiosity in kids. So these are your interests. For example, maybe you are interested or curious about artificial intelligence. Maybe also you are curious and interested about supply chain management. Maybe also you are curious about healthcare. So these are your interests which sparks that inner fire. This is the starting point. And lots of fire. For example, if you ask me, Fahsham, what's your curiosity and passion? I'm very curious about what's really happening inside the brain when people performs at its best. And another of my curiosities, what I'm doing right now, speaking to public audience, mass audience. So these are my curiosities. Lots of firepower. The next level of inner fire is called passion. What do you mean by passion? It's your deep love about a subject or about a thing. And passion is the extended version of your multiple curiosities. For example, as we mentioned before, if you are curious about artificial intelligence, healthcare, supply chain management, maybe you are passionate. Your passion might be something to do with doing something on artificial intelligence in the healthcare sector related to supply chain management system. Maybe that is where your passion lies. So your lots of firepower. Why? Lots of inner fire, lots of drive. Because right now you are not focusing on one curiosity, multiple curiosities, lots of firepower. Next comes the purpose. It's again a lot of firepower. Why? What do you mean by purpose? It's all about your why. Why do you want to do your what? It's the problem that you want to see solved that frustrates you at the deepest level. And one more thing about purpose is it's not about yourself. Curiosity and passion, it's a selfish activity because it's all about you. It's your curiosity and passion. But the moment purpose comes into the picture, it's all about other people. Lots of fiber. We are ready to do anything for other people, right? But for ourselves, we may delay. So that is the power. Let me give you a beautiful example of the power of purpose. A year back, I gave a talk at the World Biohack Summit in Dubai, where I was talking about the power of purpose. And I mentioned about the story of Starship, the world's largest, biggest rocket ever created by SpaceX to take humans to different planets, multi-planetary species. And they failed. A year back, they failed. The first test phase, it failed. But I made a prediction almost a year back that Starship is going to be successful. So after my talk, so many people, they came to me and asked me, Fahsham, what made you say that SpaceX, they're going to make Starship hugely successful with lots of passion and conviction? I said, it's easy because the MTP, the massively transformative purpose for SpaceX is to make humans multi-planetary species. And as far as SpaceX employees are concerned, Elon Musk was very successful in entrenching this purpose into the hearts and minds of SpaceX employees. So as far as SpaceX employees are concerned, they are not working only with their brain. They're also working with their heart. It's a deadly combination for drive and performance that made it. And today we know Starship, it's hugely successful. That's the first part of it. And this contributes to what I call it as inner fire triangle. So first thing is the purpose is the inner fire triangle. Okay. The next comes your autonomy. So what do you mean by autonomy? Autonomy means it's your freedom to pursue your passion and purpose. If you don't have the freedom to passion and purpose, you will not be able to achieve your purpose. So how much autonomy do you really need? More the better. But what again the research shows, it's even if it is 20%, if you can work on things that you are passionate about and purposeful about, it really works. Even if you're working on something that you are not really passionate about right now, but even 20% of the time, if you can work on things that you are passionate and purposeful about, it still works. That's why today the world's biggest corporations like Google, they have something called autonomy time. They call it as passion projects. So Googlers, they can work on things that they are passionate about 20% time, which means one full day in a week, Googlers, they can work on the projects that they like, they love. And interestingly, most of the powerful programs, products developed by Google, it was discovered, developed during those passion time. For example, Google Maps, Google Mail, Gmail, AdSense. So that is the power of having autonomy. And next comes mastery. So what do you mean by mastery? It's the skills, it's a knowledge, it's the skills to achieve your purpose. Because without skills to achieve your purpose, you are going nowhere. So this is the power. This is the total ignition stack. Curiosity, identify your curiosity and turn your curiosities, your multiple curiosities into passion. Identify your passion, identify your purpose, autonomy, and mastery. This is the total ignition stack that ignites your inner fire at the deepest level. When you get this stack right, ladies and gentlemen, you are unstoppable. It doesn't matter about you don't have the resources, you will find the resources. But get this stack right. Nobody can stop you from achieving whatever you want to achieve. Again, right now I'm talking to you, I was working with Aramco, world's biggest energy company, for 8 years as a senior engineer. And this is exact framework which has helped me to identify my fire. And do you know, when my boss, he asked me, Fahsham, this is Aramco, this is the world's biggest company. People are dreaming to come and work for Aramco, and you are trying to go away from here. You know what I said? Exact word. I told him, boss, I don't have the fire, boss. And I found a fire which is helping people unlock their ultimate human performance. It's as simple as that. Okay. Before, I wanted to make a very important point. There is no shortage of dreams. Indians, we 1.5 billion people, everybody is smart, intelligent. Is there a shortage of dreams? Everybody has dreams. But do everybody are actually actualizing those dreams? No, a very few. Because execution is a different ball game. And as I mentioned, anything big and bold, it's long-term game. A lot of challenges and obstacles. And most people give up during challenges and obstacles. Unless you have that fire that keeps you going, irrespective of the challenges and obstacles. Now, the very important question is, what happens when you ignite your fire? Let's look into the biggest surprise. It triggers, this is your precious gift. It triggers your brain's ultimate peak performance state called the flow state. So what do you mean by flow state? So flow is a technical term. So flow is technically defined as the optimal state of consciousness where you feel and perform at your best. So it's like, just imagine thousands of inspirational speakers, motivational speakers inside your brain, inspiring you, motivating you, cheering for you. How do you feel that way? And when you feel, how do you perform? And when you perform consistently in flow states, what could you really achieve? So why flow is so special? Because when your brain triggers flow state, its peak state, peak performance state, it releases 6 powerful neurotransmitters, brain chemicals, all at once. It doesn't happen all the time. It happens only when your brain triggers flow state. And what are those 6 powerful neurotransmitters? Dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, norepinephrine, anandamide, oxytocin. And each of these brain chemicals have different functions enhancing your performance, but in totality, it enhances your focus, your risk-taking ability, your confidence, your courage, your decision-making skills, your creativity, your learning, your productivity. Everything skyrockets in flow states. That makes flow very deadly when it comes to high performance. And one more thing, very important thing, which happened, a phenomenon which happens inside your brain is called transient hypofrontality. So what do you mean by transient hypofrontality? Transient means temporary, which means temporarily your brain, and frontality refers to your hypo, which is opposite to hyper, means slow down, calm down, and frontality refers to your prefrontal cortex. This is your conscious part of the brain. So when in flow, your brain deactivate your conscious brain, hugely enhancing your performance. How? Why? Because in your prefrontal cortex, you have something called, an area called DLPFC, dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. And this is where your inner critic lives, which keeps saying to you, you can't do this, you're not enough, you're not smart, you're black, you're not educated, you can't do this, so big. That actually comes from your DLPFC, your dorsolateral PFC. So in flow, that part gets shuts off, deactivated. So you are no more doubting about your big goals, enhancing your risk-taking ability. So that is a power. So finally, I want to ask you, do you want to create pivotal moments in your life? All you want to do is identify your curiosities, passion, purpose. Once you are crystal clear clarity, what do you really want to do? Then work on your autonomy and purpose. Once you get this right, you become totally unstoppable, because lots of performance, lots of drive. And this is what finally, before I end my call, this is the biggest takeaway that I wanted to give you, and I don't want you to forget this, because this is going to create pivotal moments in your life. Identify your inner fire that you are ready to die for, and then you live for it. If you can do that, ladies and gentlemen, that's how you go step by step from zero to average to good to great to unstoppable. Thank you very much.